Hey there everyone, it's cloudchief, and in today's video I kind of wanted to go over the gear and kind of how it's tiered, because there's a lot of 119 gear in the game, but it's not all equal, and that's kind of what I want to talk about in this video. So before we dive into the meat and potatoes of this, there are a few caveats that I need to go over so you understand where I'm coming from when I'm talking about how I ranked the gear. So there's a lot of 119 gear in the game, and it's not all equal. There's definitely better 119 gear over other gear. Just a quick example, you don't really see people using gear from Zeta unless you're using it for a specific situation. You're not typically going to be TPing in it or anything, and the reason is it just has less stats on it than, say, something from Sky or Ryzen Jima. Also, I'm only talking about armor for this video. I may do a similar video talking about weapons and ranking weapons, but this video is only covering armor. So what I ended up doing was I kind of looked at all the different types of gear that you can get from a specific category, like your artifact +3 or ambuscade +2 gear, or gear you get from Omen, just as examples. And I looked at the stats as a whole. I didn't sit down and be like, okay, so I want to use this on war because this has, strength and double attack or whatever stats you're going to go for. That's not how these are ranked. Like a perfect example, something could be on the S rank tier, and yet there could possibly be something, say, on the C rank tier that you would want to use over something in the S rank tier for a certain situation. Basically, for it to be on the S rank tier means it has the most accumulative amount of stats, meaning, so if it has 50 accuracy and it has 49 strength, right there, that would be plus 99 to your stats, not even talking about the other stats on it. So basically, if you just added all the stats together, the bigger the number, the higher rank I have it. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a piece you want to use. So when you're looking at this, you just need to understand this is where typically the best gear is going to come from, but it's not necessarily something you want to be using. But it's that way it's easier to classify and know what gear you want to look for. So I hope that makes sense how I broke it down. So now let's actually move on and look at the gear ratings. S rank is going to be literally what's, the latest and most of the times the best thing in the game. So right now that would be your artifact +3, your relic +3, Omen gear, stuff that typically drops from Omen bosses, and the new Odin high tier battle, because all the drops from that are just ridiculous. And so I classify that as the S rank, or essentially the highest, I'd say, item level, since it's all, 119, but that would be the highest rating because it has the most cumulative stats on it. A rank, so the artifact +2 gear, the relic +2 gear, ambuscade +2 gear, the abjuration +1 that comes from Sky, so you would have to get the -1 cursed gear off the auction house or have it synthesized with the prayer and then have it purified, Ryzen Jima gear, and then superior 3 +1 gear. Also the Volt gear that drops from Dynamis Divergence. So for the B rank, I put the artifact +1 gear, relic +1, ambuscade +1 gear, NQ abjuration gear from Sky, just random other gear that you would get from Sky NMs, and the NQ superior 3 gear. For the C rank, pretty much all the armor that you're going to get from Esja Zeta, Delve, the NQ ambuscade gear, and superior 2 gear that you can get off the auction house. E rank is the Alluvian skirmish gear and superior 1 gear. And as for Unity and high tier battle gear, that stuff is all over the place, so I felt that it should be ranked somewhere between B and D, just because, again, the gear's all over the place and there's different, level NMs, so you're technically getting different level drops from the NMs. So it's not all equal, so again, I feel it ranks somewhere between B and D. And that about covers everything for the gear tier guide. I really wanted to make this for new and returning players, just because I know when you're looking at all this gear, it can be overwhelming to be like, oh, well, where does this come from? What do I do for this? This way, this gives you a reference to kind of show you where all the 119 gear is, and you can kind of figure out what exactly you want to go for and what you want to do. Because quite often, you're going to want something off of the S rank tier much more often than you would want it off of, you know, the B or C rank tier. But that also means, you know, don't neglect the stuff that's, say, on C and D rank. There's definitely stuff that you can find in there that is extremely useful in certain situations. But again, we're typically going to want the things that has the most stats on it. But there's always a chance that whatever you want that has the most stats doesn't actually have the stats built for whatever it is you're really trying to do for the job. So it is very good to be cognizant of that. But I'm very happy to bring, you know, this, so that way it's very easy to be like, okay, what do I want to look for when I'm trying to gear up whatever job it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you got some value out of it. And as always, may you have success in all you do.